Hey, what's up, legends? Welcome back to another YouTube live stream with me. My name is Stefan Kunz. I'm a hand lettering artist from Zurich, and in today's live stream, we're going to attempt to draw the letter H in 16 different ways. Now, of course, 16 different types of one letter is one of my favorite exercises to practice my lettering styles, to practice my attempts on how to draw one single letter in different ways. And it's a great way to advance your skills, to practice your skills, to get better, and to, not let it just stay there, just stay stale, but really come up with new ideas, to be willing to explore, to search for new ideas and all of that. Now, I'm excited that I'm gonna be launching an online course in a couple of weeks. We've been working on it for a couple of months now, and I'm just wanted to say that and drop that here and let it just sit, because this is what you can learn in this online course, is how to come up with all these different type of letters, and I'm gonna tell you all about that in a couple of weeks time. But just here, a little nugget, a little secret that I wanted to share. And I don't know, I didn't plan on sharing that today, but here we are, we're sharing it now. So this exercise, again, is great to practice your styles, to come up with new ideas, and to explore new different ways of doing one thing. Now, I'm excited that you guys are here, and if you want to support this YouTube channel, if you want to get more out of that, if you want to help me to produce more videos, then one way of doing that is actually by going down to my Patreon page. So on patreon.com, you will find me doing a Patreon page where you can support this YouTube channel, where you can help out and make me more content. And like all of this material that I'm filming with, you guys are the ones that help me to do this. So I'm excited to say hello to a lot of my patrons who are watching regularly. We got Jonathan, Supernova, we got a lot of familiar faces that are joining in all the time. So I'm excited that you guys are here, and I cannot wait to spend this afternoon with you here. Now, on Friday, I would usually do another YouTube live stream, but we've got something special happening, which is gonna take place on Instagram, but we'll upload that later on YouTube if everything works out technically. I do not know if this is gonna work out or not. Perhaps it will, perhaps it won't. We never know. But I'm excited that you are here, and let's use this time to create something together and jump right into this exercise. Now, you're probably wondering why 16 types of one single letter. Well, it's pretty easy. 16 is a mathematical correct number of coming up with the exact number of creative links that, well, I could go on and just try to explain that, but the easiest way to explain it is 16 is a perfect and easy number to divide a piece of paper by. You can easily take a piece of paper like this one here, fold it in half, you got 2 spots, then you fold it again, you got 4, and you fold it again, and what do you get? Yes, you got it right, you get 16 different little rectangles that you can use. And so this is how easy it is to divide a piece of paper into 16 parts. Well, wait, that is 8. I gotta fold that again. That was my math, that was incorrect, sorry for that. But now we got 16 parts like this. You get 4, 4, 4, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down, and you get 16 pieces. Now, so this is how you can do it at home if you do not have a printer or anything, but you can also get this, this page here, the 16 types of one letter challenge. This one is by Ian Barnard. He created this one where we have the letter builder printed on it as well. I'm not sure if you guys can see that really well, but it is there. And you can get that for free. You can print it at home. You can use that as a drawing board, drawing sheet where you can draw this yourself. Now, I'm gonna use the iPad because it's just the easiest way for me to help you guys to show it and to draw along, and also just in a big way until I get like a new camera, whatever. You gotta work with what you have. But again, if you wanna take just a piece of paper, it doesn't matter what size it is, you can divide it easily into 16, and this is why we're doing 16, but it also just happened to be a great number to train your different styles. Now, let's just jump into it. We are doing the letter H today. We're drawing 16 types of one single letter, and you know what? It's actually not my favorite letter to draw, but let's take a look, let's jump into it, and let's see what we can do here. So over here, again, I'm just going into there, having a brand new layer set up, seeing that I get my Stefan Kunz pencil, which, by the way, you can get for free on my newsletter. By subscribing to my newsletter, you can get 2 of my favorite brushes for free, plus a 25% discount on my store for your very first purchase, or maybe your 10th purchase, depending on where you are right now. But you can use that in the store right now. So, all right, this is the letter builder, which is a great tool to draw any type of letters. So the very first one, we're gonna keep it easy. We're just gonna draw this line here, and then there. And the cool thing is the letter builder comes in different shapes and sizes. So this one is the regular shape, and we also have wide, so bold, wide, and narrow, and so on, and also in italics. So this is really easy. And so this here, now again, I could just maybe create a 3D. So I'm trying to stick as much as possible to what you guys can do at home with a pencil, because I believe in not having to use fancy tools, but fancy tools can sometimes be really fun to use and to draw with. And so I'm not gonna miss out on that as well, but here we are. So I'm trying here a 3D letter. So the H is really simple. It has, well, if it really comes down to it, it's like 1 line, 2 lines, and a cross line. And you know what? You can set the cross line high. You can also just leave it really short. Like an H is really much like a ladder that's missing all the in-between ladder steps. So that's pretty much how I think of a letter, is trying to reduce it to the basics, to understand it, and to come up with all of these different things. So today I'm gonna be trying to make it work into 1 hour, because I feel like live drawing is fun, except if I'm doing a 5-hour challenge. But unless I'm doing that, I'm trying to keep myself to 1 hour, because that challenges me to work fast, to work quick, to make it interesting and not to waste anyone's time, but to also give you guys like a little bit of a know-how of like how long one session usually takes. So this is what we're doing here. We're using our time together to create. And so here we go. We got a letter H, a very simple one that you guys can fill out, draw in, and all that. I can also just increase the weight of all these sizes, letters here, and just make that a tiny little bit thicker, like that. And if my camera turns off for just a second, do not be alarmed. This is normal. If you're new here, please subscribe. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel at any single time. And the best part of that is it's free. It doesn't cost you 1 penny, 1 cent. You do not have to do anything. You can unsubscribe at any time as well. This is, you're a free person. You're in a free country, hopefully. And you can do whatever you want. So use that freedom, and you can subscribe if you want to. If you do not want to, that's fine too. And we'll see. So we got the letter H, and that's a super simple letter, easy to do. Letter H, done. Okay, second one is I'm gonna try to draw more of a serif styled H. So I'm gonna add some more space here, and then I'm gonna think of like how strong, like how much contrast do I want to add? Do I want to add a lot of contrast? Do I want to make it slab serif? So slab serif is basically changing the serifs at the end to have the same weight as the letter, or the weight of the letter itself. So it's pretty much a monoline and just really thick. But I'm gonna go here with more of a, I don't know, Roman style letter, and I'm gonna add the crossbar a little bit lower, and then just gonna start filling this out. And you can see almost it's kind of like an arch touching each other, which is perfectly okay. And again, just filling this out. Now you can do the cross hatchets one way, which is totally fine. I'm just like, if I'm working fast, it's extremely nerve-wracking to do that. And I'm faster on paper. Somehow, I don't know why. This is where the camera turns off. I don't know why, but I'm so much faster and more precise when I do it on paper than when I do it here on the iPad. I feel like it's just because it's the screen size. Like, yeah, if I do it on this scale, it feels a lot more easier to do than if I have to use more of my wrist to do that than the rest. Okay, so we got our second letter done. Again, we're not looking right now to go for creative, to go for like all out. We're just trying to get into the flow, finding our rhythm, finding, like, I know the rhythm is always fast. I'm always trying to work as fast as I possibly can, try to be efficient. Some people feel like I'm rushing everything, and honestly, I feel like I'm rushing it too. It's pretty much normal at this stage that I'm doing this, and it's weird because it feels like I'm talking to myself, except that I know that you guys are watching as well, so this is giving me hope because my assistant on the other side here is probably thinking that I'm crazy, but she's used to it by now, I hope so. So we got 2 letters down. We got the letter H, of course, because we're drawing the letter H, but we got it in a 3D style, sans serif, just basic, no contrast, and just adding a 3D extrusion. Then we got a just a normal, more or less normal H in a serif style. So we got the serifs out here. I might want to just put them apart from each other. And now we got the next one. So the next one is more of a script style. So we got those 3 basic font families that I want to cover, make sure that it's covered, and that helps me to really find all the different styles. And here, this is where I struggle with pretty much the most, is coming up with all these different, like, especially, I think I'm just not very used to drawing an H in a script style. So I would need to look up maybe a couple of variations of drawing an H as a capital letter in script, and then you can have this go out here instead of having this come out there. So this is where the crossbar is kind of connected, and so we're just playing around. We're just seeing where this is taking us, and let's see how far we can go, if we can go anywhere. Maybe not. But this is fun. And I kind of like where this is heading. And then finally, I still want to add something here. It's kind of feels a little empty on the top here. So I'm just going to add some strokes, some elements. Like this, perfect. And again, my philosophy in creating is always to try to add one more step to see how far we can take this. So I'm trying here to just see, by hiding these spots here, gives that impression of a shadow, which is kind of weird, and I feel like I haven't mastered that part yet. So I'm always kind of like trying it out every time, again and again, but here, no, that hatchet doesn't look great. I'm gonna add some more weight to this left one here, right one actually. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3. It's all right. Kind of happy where this is. Let's move on. Number 4. Number 4, Gothic style letter, perhaps. So I don't know, this is, maybe perhaps I just need also to change up the shape a tiny little bit here. Maybe just like this. And so, okay, so this is a tiny little bit cheating. I feel like it's a little bit of cheating. It's definitely not cheating, but it feels cheating for me. And it's because I feel like drawing a small cap letter instead of doing them all caps is just like, it gives you a variety, but it's actually pretty much the same as doing something else. But again, it's all in your mind, and it shouldn't prevent you from still drawing like small cap. unless it's preventing you from advancing and getting better because you're just avoiding something. But I'm not trying to avoid here anything. I'm just trying to, I just like the shape here better than the like all cap H in the black letter style. So again, here, the style, the idea behind the style, and this is also always great to learn that, is to figure out, like, how does this work? So one thing is that you want to make sure that you know that the nib of a Gothic pen or calligraphy pen that is just like straight has this same width and is always straight and has those strokes. So you're drawing it stroke and holding it in this angle, and then everything becomes angled to that stroke. So this is where I want to keep it, kind of like erasing these parts. And you see, we already got four different styles of H, which is already a start. And you can see we can play more now, and now we can get into more creative. Now we get into the flow. We're trying out something new. So let's get to the next style. So I'm trying to come up with maybe more slanted. That's already a start. Slanting, kind of like tilting it one way. Then the next part is maybe changing the height or the thickness, like kind of make it more thin. Changing this where the crossbar is, perhaps like lowering it down very far. So we're already there. And so that already looks different from all of these. And now we're still stuck kind of where it still resembles of a sans serif style letter. So I'm just going to add here slap serifs. So again, slap serif is just having the same weight, the serifs in the same weight. They're not having these beautiful angles, this roundness to it, but all pretty much in the same weight. Now here, I'm just going to switch to a different eraser just to make that a little bit easier to erase. And I'm not sure if I had to erase that, but you know, you never know. So that already looks very different. Now, again, I could add some 3D, but we have that just on top of it. So I'm just gonna try to keep it different, which I do not know how to do, except for maybe start by coloring it in. Again, maybe make it smaller just so it's easier and faster to color in, to fill it out. By the way, has anyone here in the live stream already finished all of their letters, all of their 26 letters, maybe even 36 if you count in the numbers, that they have done already, all of them? Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. Let me know in the comments below if you're already going strong. So we got people from all over joining into the live stream. So if you are rewatching this, then you might be wondering, like, should I ever watch this live? But the answer is yes. It's always fun to be live here, to join us live, to join the community, because if you can rewatch the live chat, you can see all these awesome people that show up every single time. And I love all of them here. So a bubble H, I like that. So here I can add just some strokes, like not even a shadow, but just a stroke here. So drop shadow outline. That's pretty much what it is called. Something that I also really love to do is to actually go on and look for inspiration, but we're trying to push it first. And instead of like, these are all pretty edgy, so I'm gonna try to do something more round, more soft. So let's see if I can have like a really kind of bubbly, H, more like a flubber. Does anyone remember the movie Flubber? feel like it's called Flubber. It's Robin Williams in it. Actually, a pretty funny movie. Robin Williams is always funny in his movies, or most of them movies, because maybe he's a comedian, and that's why he's what he does best. It's kind of like Jim Carrey in The Mask. So the idea behind this letter here is to actually not make it like exactly symmetrical, but kind of like in an irregular shape. So kind of make like one side just more heavy, the other side a little bit thinner, and then just with some glow here, we can just erase some parts and add some effects to it, because again, it's all about these, adding just one more thing, trying out, like seeing what you can add that will make an impact and learn from that as well. So here, kind of like this. Like that. I like that. And we can still add some bubbles over here and here, kind of. Just like that. All right, so that is a bubble tea maybe ish. What if I added this in here? That is kind of adding some bubbles inside the H, kind of like this here. That is interesting. Kind of like it. All right, let's leave it at that. So what do we have else? Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so we got 6 down. We only got like 10 to go, so that's not a lot. We got half an hour to go, and I realized that I'm not that fast. Or better yet, not as fast as I would like to be. So let's keep it roundish, or you know what, let's try to have an H that is more kind of like a Star Wars themed H, from a galaxy far, far away. So for this, I'm just going to add some 3D here. And if you're wondering how this type of 3D works, it's so if you would add the 3D like correctly, like the H if it's in the middle somewhere, it should be really high up, and this is probably just too thick to be in the middle, but it still works. So just adding some highlights here and there, making sure that these parts are all erased, kind of like that. And I can add some just thicker strokes here. Just like this, and then, I don't know, what else could we add? Shouldn't add too much. But this is like an H from outer space. Or that's just almost just falling over into one direction. Then we can have the fast H that is leaning in and just kind of like flowing out. So it's kind of like in a hurry. So for that, I'm just gonna have like those lines here. I'm just having this pieced out. And then finally coloring all of these in. So it looks like paint is falling off or just like dripping away. Like a freshly painted H in that sense. So in the next part, I'm actually gonna look up some inspiration from my inspiration boards on Pinterest. I'm gonna see if I can find more ideas, more like different styles of H that I haven't thought of yet. Figure out like, is there an H that I really like that I kind of want to learn from? And so this is a great opportunity to kind of like practice your H's that you, or like looking for letters that you found interesting and then just dissecting them, figuring out how that works and how you can learn more to it, adding that to it, and so on. Somehow my iPad just lost a little bit of brightness. Just cleaning up here. So one thing that also would probably look cool is to make this H here at the end not just straight, but really wobbly, like that. And then finally, my favorite probably always to add these kind of like highlights. Like that. All right, that is enough. So again, like I said, looking up some new inspiration ideas for that, I like to pick up a book. This one is Lettering Manual by Ken Barber. It contains a lot of great tips and tricks and all of that. And so if we look in here, let's see if we can find something really fun, really cool. And there's a ton of stuff. So for example, here, totally get this. Here, the vintage style, kind of like this because it's kind of rounded. Ooh, I love this H here. House of Industries, H. So let me just, this one here. So it's like a brush stroke towards the bottom. And I'm just gonna make it a little bit. So it's kind of like you hold the brush here and then just all the way down. The same thing over here, but a little bit shorter. So again, you kind of realize like how the brush looks if you put it down. So this is kind of brush shape on the piece of paper, and you see this happening in here. Like this is the end and the beginning, and has pretty much that shape. Now we can fill this out. So that is if you are just taking like the letter exactly and copying it on that style. You're not learning much from it unless you're realizing like how it's done, how the brush reacts on paper, how it moves. And this is where you learn the most from. So now I know kind of like this is the brush shape. So the next stroke, and actually this is funny because almost if I would kind of move that a tiny little bit like this, and then move it down here. Kind of like that. That is pretty much the H from House of Industries, which is his brand, House Industries. Not House of Industries, House Industries. This one is a little bit thicker than I intended it to be, but that's okay. And now the question is, can we add just one more step? Can we create something special with it? And I'm sure we can. By, for example, I don't know, what could we do? Well, one, I could try to just scale it a little bit around. Like that. Again, make it a little bit thicker. And then, I don't know, maybe make some strokes inside. What else could we try? The highlight is always my option, but I need to come up with new things. What about like a shadow, but not just drop shadow line like we did on the one on top of it, but just kind of like a, just layering it down and just let it fade out. Kind of like that. All right, I like this. This is working for me. I hope this is working for you too. Let's see. So I love this style here. The one below, it's kind of like a Western style. And the cool thing, it's not that difficult to replicate. So we see it's top heavy, so kind of like the serifs here are heavy. Then we have these inflection here, so kind of like gonna take this and doing the same thing here at the bottom too. And now the fun thing is kind of like from the K. The K is probably the closest. So seeing that, I'm just gonna pick up these here and pull them apart a tiny little bit more. So they're almost centered. And I'm gonna pull out these two here as well. Just like this. And then here, that's the line that I'm gonna use. And so now, so this is where you do not have an H, where if you're looking at that, let's see if I can show you that a little bit closer. Well, if I show you that here. So this is the one here, the Yorkland that I want to use. Yeah, that's the one, Yorkland. So there's no H in here, but there are letters that are very similar. For example, the K that I can use as inspiration. And I can just, so here maybe with the liquify tool, I can actually reduce the size a tiny little bit, but kind of like bring that in. Yeah, that is a lot, but it's working. And then, let's see, does that look right? Pretty much, it works. And then so, how does a K work? So yeah, it goes in here. Here would be kind of the centered line. So it's all a trial and error exercise where you just try to get as close as possible as you can. Then I feel like we have these little elements here. And then finally, just filling it out. You could give it some Western style look by just giving it some texture, like wooden texture would be really nice on this letter, meaning you could give it all a textured look by just adding like kind of like the wood style element, stuff like that. Those are the things that would really look cool on this letter, but I feel like filling it out works as well. But if you have more time, go for it, go nuts, try it out, see how far you can go. But that Western style, again, if you think of like these salons or saloons, one of both, would work really, really well. Okay, so we got another letter H done, and we got 6 to go, so we're almost done. We got a very nice variety already, And maybe there's a Canadian accent coming through at some point. Who knows? A boat. That's pretty much the only Australian thing I can say is a boat. Then what else can we see? Oh, there's a nice one here too. The H from hey, for example, this one here. So again, it's easy to do this, but I also see the one here. So tequila over here, I love how this one looks, kind of like it's not always on the same height, like vertical shift. The letters are transposed, but they have a very nice serif. So you know what, I'm just gonna place it here so you guys can see a tiny little bit of it. So we have this T here, which is really nice. I'm just gonna use that, place it here, here, and there, and see kind of like, all right, they're also hourglass shaped like this, and then a very, very nice and long serifs. You could make a case and say that one of those H could actually be longer than the other. This one could really go all the way there. But it's all about trial and error, learning new styles, playing around with these styles, because you know, you can see a style, you can copy the letter, but you cannot like figure out the style unless you practice it, unless you implement it really well. And so that is where creativity has to drop in, and really where you have to play around with these things and really intently look at all these elements. So here I'm even bending that crossbar a tiny little bit, because I feel like that's how the artist Ken Barber here would have done it if he had to draw tequila with or like hequila. That would be the probably the word that you'd use. How about that one? I like that. Okay, so we got one here. And so let's see, let's keep on looking and searching for inspiration. I'm gonna grab that book a little bit over here. See if I can find another letter. For example, here, this one is beautiful. This is exactly what I was looking for, an H, script styled calligraphy. So that's an uppercase stroke from what's that style called? It's a round hand. Is it a round hand? Yes, it is a round hand letter. So this is why I love these styles, because you can find all of it. So let's see. So you would start off with a nice bow, and it will kind of like touch the top here. Then it will give you a nice, so this is where probably have to drop here, one down. So I'm going out a little bit more, and then maybe again, it's all about like trial and error, and I'll go through the middle, go up, have a nice bow, and this is where it's more rounded. So there's almost like an L, and then it kind of like comes down, and it will touch back here, and then here I'll probably go a little bit further. Yes, we'll go a little bit further. I have this nice bow here, and we're almost there. Feel it, it's coming together really nice. And so now the thing about round hand scripts is it's kind of like not just like the thickness doesn't just come down all the way there, but just has this nice thickness in between. So everyone who does calligraphy will probably kill me in thinking of how you actually do this. But this is what I love about lettering, is you kind of learn more of how to draw these styles. And then you see I'm coming too close together at the bottom here already, so it should be thinner at the bottom there, and then here as well. It's kind of like, so if you have a clock here, probably just like 2 o'clock. Well, this would be more like 7-ish, 7:30. And then again, trying to get that same weight. So like I said at the beginning, this is where you practice your styles. This is where you learn the most. And then what else? So here, there's just a tiny bit of added weight here. And my loops here at the end could also all be done a little bit better, but hey, this is a for me, in my opinion, a nice looking H. That is absolutely not the style that I would have gone for, but I kind of like where this is going and how it's done. So here we go. This is a H. Again, totally could have been done better, but we're learning, we're implementing, we're trying out elements and seeing, like, you could add flourishes. You could probably go around and kind of like do more of these here and there, but we're just at the beginning. We're trying out new things. So let's see. Do I see anything else that is standing out that I could try? Maybe a H over here. That is, you know what? I'm gonna grab this piece of paper. Well, actually, all these pieces of paper, and I'm just gonna draw one out with a brush. Just a couple of different ones. So this one here, wow, that's already cool. No. So again, if we take, I'm not feeling this. So kind of giving this all here more just kind of like a super bold. All right, this looks more like my jam. Actually, that reminds me, there's a lot of companies that start with the letter H. For example, Hyatt, Hilton, all of these. And that reminds me also, I could switch around the camera now that it's more tilted this way. But yeah, first things first. Let's try to get this one here, this H. Oh, I see a request for a ribbon H. We can definitely do a ribbon H. Okay, I couldn't leave it be with the stippling. So a ribbon H, actually a ribbon H would be perfect to use this one here at the bottom. So to do that, I'm just actually gonna copy and duplicate this. And because I do not want to have them next to each other, I'm just gonna transpose it to the other side. Gonna reduce the opacity here. Go back to that layer, and then we are actually making a nice ribbon out of that one. So gonna use those thick strokes to be at the top. Then we're going to swap that around so it goes to the back here. And like that, we got a ribbon styled H. Now I'm just gonna take that back here. Maybe also just play around with the shape. Just to get it like more like that, yeah. And there we go. If you erase some parts of it here. could make the case that adding some shadows here would increase the style, the realism of this piece. But again, that is not necessary. Kind of like shooting over the goal, but you never know. It's always fun to play around. Like adding some color in here would absolutely make this piece stand out a tiny little bit more. But just like that, I feel like we're already at a very good place. So 2 more to go, 2 more letters down, and let's see what we can do. By the way, if you haven't subscribed yet to this YouTube channel, you can do that at any time. The button is down below somewhere, I think here, and you can click that anytime and join the YouTube squad and become a YouTube follower. And I said something about Sunday, Friday actually, where I'm gonna replace my regular, or almost regular, YouTube live with a Instagram live where I'm gonna be joined by someone else, and we're drawing a quote together. And the first guest, you guys know him already really well, but I'm gonna be joined by him on Friday, and I'm gonna look for other artists to do that too, and we'll just try out some new style where we can letter together and you guys can join in. It's gonna be at a different time, so it's usually gonna be evening for me, which is more convenient for all our American friends, because yeah, they can jump in at a later time as well, and so that's gonna be fun for them too. And what else? Yeah, it's gonna be fun just to be drawing together. We're gonna do something similar like we did on Monday, where you guys decide a quote, and I'm still trying to figure out like what type of content I can bring on this YouTube channel. I'm honestly struggling with this. So this is a real talk here right now between you guys and me, that I'm struggling with, like what type of content really works on YouTube. What are people watching? Like I'm driven by numbers as well, because like it doesn't necessarily work if I just do something that a couple of people like. I kind of need to address the masses. Like you need to find something that works really well, and experimenting is kind of like any business works. You need to experiment. You need to try out all these different ideas. You need to see what works and what doesn't work. And so this is me about to try out something brand new, to try out, see what really does work well, what doesn't work well. And so yeah, so this is a small H. It's not too bad. I feel like it's not great either. Just missing that really amazing factor. Let's see if we can add some. Oh, I know which one we are missing. We're missing kind of like an embossed styled H. So let's see at the time. Oh, we just passed an hour. So I feel like we're almost done. We're gonna make it. I'm not sure what I'm trying here. Yeah, no clue what I was trying here. But perhaps. That's not going to make it any better. Just a subtle look. So finally, last but not least, well, actually it is the last one. It's a beautiful embossed letter H. Isn't this beautiful? You just have to follow these lines and boom, you got the letter H done. Now you just need to kind of follow that middle line, find that in between, connect these here, these ending, these corners. Do that everywhere here and there. And then last middle line through the crossbar, and then color in, like make it really dark on the bottom parts. Kind of like this. And then just slightly, give this a tint, a darker shade. And maybe just slight shade like that. And we got this H done. That is number 16 because we already did the other one here, the ribbon style back there. And we got 16 different letters, different H. So here we go. These are my 16 style of H, 16 types of one letter for the letter H, with a little time crunch where we try to squeeze it into 1 hour. So I would love to see what you guys created. So let me know what you guys created by tagging me in your Instagram stories, sending me pictures. I'd love to see what you guys have been up to, have been drawing while we were watching this. And guys, share this if you like, if that has helped you to come up with new ideas, if that has helped you to create. I'd love nothing more to see that. And really thankful that you have been joining me there. Do not forget to use the hashtag #DrawWithStefan if you have created your 16 types of one letter. And I can't wait to see you on Friday on Instagram. I'm going to be sharing what we're doing very, very soon. So stay tuned for that. And I can't wait to see what you guys have been up to. Now, again, this is a great practice to practice all your different styles. And let's just quickly review before we end what we have done. So here we have the very first one. Again, just a simple sans serif letter H with a extrusion, 3D extrusion. We moved on into the second font family that we have. It's the serifs, where we have a strong contrast. Then I went into, this is pretty much the way I would draw an H in a cursive way. So again, this is how I would do that. Then a Gothic styled letter H, and I just love the bow at the top, how it's done. Then we try to switch around, kind of like give it a little inclination, adding some just a little bit thinness. Like these are pretty much all the same thickness, so we try to change that around as well. Then very different from all these edginess is to make it really round, rough, rough, not at all rough, like really soft and kind of like bubbly. Then Star Wars H, like an H that is kind of like more inclined, like not straight like all the others. Then a fast-paced H because we're in a hurry trying to get through this whole shebang, because you know, creating is sometimes you got to do it on time, you got to work it out. And then this House of Industries, like I picked up the book from Ken Barber, which is a great book. If you haven't got that here, you should totally get it. It's a great book. I'm not making any ad for that as well, so this is up to you to use it. Definitely someone I would love to draw with at one point is Ken Barber. I probably could learn so much from him, and you guys too, for sure. Then this Western style font H. Then here more of a really kind of like irregular H that has like all these different shapes, but also serif styled. Then another script styled more brush styled H here. Then a very nice calligraphy looking H. And again here the thickness, I still have to work on that. I could do better job at that. Here, I don't know what I was trying, but this is working. Finally, the embossed H, and then on per your request, the ribbon styled H, which probably is a must by now, and we could have done it in a different ways over here. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this this session, and let's see what we're doing on Friday, guys. Bring your notepad, bring your pen and paper. Join me on Instagram for this. It's gonna be fun because it's so much easier to get someone to join you in your your live streams, and this is why I want to do this with guests here. And then also I'm just gonna probably upload that later on YouTube too, so you can rewatch it there as well. It's gonna be hopefully a fun, entertaining evening, and it's gonna be fun for everyone to watch. So I'm really excited for this. Guys, don't forget to subscribe, like this video if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments below what you would love to see me do next. If you have a quote request, if you have an idea for a challenge, how you want to challenge me, you can leave that in the comments, not just in the live chat because I'm not going to be able to see that, but in the comments below, you can let me know, and I can't wait to see you there. So guys, see you on Friday evening, and look out for all the information on my Instagram page. And do not forget to tag me in your posts with this awesome piece of artwork that you have done in this time. So I'm excited, and I keep hitting my microphone, which is totally stupid, but this is how we do stuff. And I need to actually switch around here because there's a thing that I want to show you guys before. And let's see, first up here is the presentation that I need to make sure that I have. So guys, see you very soon on Friday.